Hi, everybody. We are back with another AIME Live. It's been a little while. I have been all over the country the past month, but I am so excited to be back with a very good friend of AIME's and a good friend of mine, Colin Treend from Cardinal Financial Wholesale. Colin, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. It's great to see you.
You too. I feel like we're finally getting back to
I know.
I'm ready to do this in person next time.
Yeah, I agree.
So we have spent the entire month of July. We really took National Mortgage Broker Day and said, we're not going to celebrate it for a day. We're going to celebrate it for the entire month. And we're going to try to get the message out there.
Yeah.
One of those things that we did were all the happy hours. So we had 7 happy hours in 7 different cities in 6 days, all over the country, different time zones, different brokers. Cardinal was super involved in all of that. Why was it important for you and for Carl and the rest of the team to be engaged with those happy hours and to get back out there with all of the broker community?
Yeah, I think, personally, it's just, my way of getting us back together and socializing and, building relationships again face to face that, suffered over the last 15 months, right? And, I would have loved to have been at every single one of those. And it's just very difficult. But, I heard some wonderful stories of people, having a good time and just relaxing and talking about the things that have happened over the last year and a half and rebuilding relationships again and that matters. And so that was, the personal aspect and that just makes me feel good. And whether it's a happy hour or a 5, I'd love that everybody signed up for a 5K run, but that's not what it was, right? So happy hour is what seems to be the one that draws.
It seems to help.
And
Brings people together.
So, and from a company perspective, again, we just want to show our support and let people know that we're here, we're strong, and we support you. And we're so proud of the courage in this community to be an independent mortgage broker and deliver what we do every day. So that's the business side of it.
Yeah, of course. We saw, I think the turnout for these events is such a strong indicator of exactly what you're describing. We saw about 1,000 people in that week. I talked to 1,000 people and I didn't make it to every happy hour either. I was at 5 of the 7, I think. And still had a chance to engage with so many, and everyone's echoing the same sentiment, just getting back out there, being in your community, hearing and learning from one another. What are some of the things that Cardinal is doing to help foster that, whether it's consumer education or broker education amongst one another? You guys have a lot of initiatives that you're always working on. What are you guys doing to help push that forward?
Yeah, I think really the anchor for us is really our internal training, which supports the independent mortgage broker and their loan officers through just advocating every day and being there to help them through that process. And so we have a dedicated team of 10 people that are very talented and very well skilled at navigating through Octane and showing people the benefits and the features and why it's important to get trained and so that you can experience all of the benefits of using a system that we feel is best in class. So beyond that, our sales force continues to grow. We've hired 60 plus account executives already this year, and I think we're the turtle in the hare, right? We're growing slowly, but appropriately, right?
Yeah.
And we just need to reach more people, and that's we rely on our sales force to do that. And the more people we reach, the more people we can help and bring down their durations and improve their experiences and hopefully deliver a world-class experience to their customers, right?
Yep, absolutely. And that's been a big part of this whole conversation throughout the month of July, right? We've gotten some pushback in the past on, brokers are better is maybe a little bit aggressive. Other people in the industry don't always love it. But the thing that I've tried to tell everyone and explain and sort of transition the way that we're communicating that is we believe that we're better because we're spending the time to get educated, we're learning, we're investing in training, our partners are investing back in the community, and really focusing on the why. And a big part of that why is what you're describing. It's understanding how to take advantage of the systems, the tools, the resources that are available amongst all of our partners that we have out there, and just helping more people, right? Always putting the consumer at the center of every decision that's being made.
Yeah. There's, think about this community, right? A large group of entrepreneurs and really independent salespeople that in many senses work for themselves. And that takes so much courage, so much, attentiveness to your own education and your own growth. And, it just demands respect, right? For the risks, the personal risks, and then, and then the rewards that come with it. So it's, I love it. I think it's the most fun I've ever had, at work, in terms of working in the wholesale business and supporting these amazing people.
And you guys have been avid supporters of AIME for a while. I know you and I have known each other for a few years. The entire time that I've been engaged with Arrive and with AIME, Cardinal has been a huge supporter and a big proponent of the community that we're working to build. What about working with AIME? Why is that so important for y'all at Cardinal? Staying engaged with us specifically and with our community and with the brokers that are a part of our organization.
Yeah, I think with any, relationships, you've got to measure the effectiveness, right? And the effectiveness that AIME has had in terms of advocating and supporting and building and educating has really been unparalleled. So that's goes into my decision tree as to who we align ourselves with, right? Not that we don't align ourselves with other wonderful industry supporters, but AIME's been very effective at that, right? And I think back to the first AIME Fuse event that I went to, and I was looking around and I just couldn't believe how many people were there, first of all, and two, the commitment to delivering an experience that really enhanced what the broker does every day, right? Through education topics that actually matter, right? Through speakers that make you really think about what you're doing and how you're doing it. And it reminded me of, pre-2008, just the energy and the sheer volume of people and participants, and made me proud to be part of that community.
And y'all are going to be a big part of Fuse this year, which we're very excited about. So Fuse is coming up. I can't believe we're saying this, but it's less than 2 months away, which is wild.
Yeah.
We are so excited to be back in person again, in real life, not virtually anymore. We're getting back to Las Vegas at the Bellagio. I did a site visit there a couple of weeks ago, and we have gotten so large over the last couple of years. We started with one ballroom at the Bellagio, and Fuse started back in 2018. We have now, for this event, every space the Bellagio has available.
Oh my goodness.
We have the whole thing. We have all 3 ballrooms. We're expecting about 3,000 people this year, which is crazy. It will be by far the largest event that we've ever had. And we've got some really cool speakers that we've announced throughout the month. Obviously, Magic Johnson that we talked about earlier in the year, Molly Bloom that we just announced a couple of weeks ago that I am so excited about. If you have not read her book or seen her story, she's so interesting. And then the big announcement that we just made earlier this week, Simon Sinek will be there, which if you've read or studied leadership in any way at any point in your life, you know who he is. And there's so many fascinating things those 3 are going to be able to contribute, along with panelists and speakers from our own industry. Barry Beebe will be there. We're going to have a lot of our members will be serving on panels, the best of the best. We're doing a series called How I Built This, these lightning round talks for 6 or 7 minutes of how I built my mortgage brokerage in under 6 minutes. Like, what did I do? How did I build it? How can you go do the same? What are you most excited about for Fuse this year?
I think just seeing
all
everybody.
Of it.
Yeah, all of it. I'm definitely a people person, and I enjoy time spent with peers and clients and customers and learning and just being part of that. And after a year and a half of of a whole lot of different experiences, right?
Yep.
I think it will just be a challenge for many of us not to, just really take it in. you know? So we're very excited to be, participating there, and I think it's going to be a good, kickoff as we go into 2022, right? The preparations that we all need to make, right, for
Yep.
the industry changing, perhaps contracting at a pretty hefty rate, and I think it's a perfect time for the community to really evaluate all the tools that they have, their relationships, the alignments, and how they set themselves up for success without disruption as we go into a couple of years, if you believe the MBA forecast, that might be a little challenging, right?
Yep, absolutely. And one of the things that we also, because we just figured let's pack everything we can into the month of July, one of the other things that we've been communicating and rolling out are our different committees, which are a huge part of that, right? Making sure that we have community ties to preparation and conversations that are going to impact the industry long term. One of them, obviously directly impacting Cardinal, is our partnerships committee that we just did a Facebook Live with that group last week. I'll be directly working with the partnerships committee. We've got a different person from AIME working with each of those groups, and that committee is one that I'm hyper focused on, that along with our education and outreach committee. So you and I spoke last year, right around this time actually, trying to figure out, all right, what is the best way for AIME to move forward? How do we navigate creating sustainability and longevity for the organization that allows us to still represent the best interests of brokers, but doing so in a way that is a little more sturdy, right? Where we've got a stronger foundation in place. And these committees are a big part of what grew out of those conversations. Why is it so important for us to have not only membership representation, but membership engagement with those committees over the next couple of years?
Well, I think we all have to be talking about the problems that we're going to face, right? And advocate appropriately for the things that really support the mission of the broker. I get concerned about things like the competitive landscape and how we that we continue to have choice, right? I'd love for everybody to send their loans here, but that's not reasonable, and that's not what really the mission of the independent mortgage broker is, right? To really shop and find the best value for your consumer, and so we need that hyper competitive landscape, but at the right margins and at the right and so I think avoiding kind of the moral hazards that we're seeing at different places, and really just making sure that we're advocating appropriately to maintain that mission, right? Because it could be eroded, right? There's things that can erode the value of the independent mortgage broker and basically become a retail outlet, and you lose a lot of that proposition for the customer, right?
Absolutely. And one of the things that you guys are doing and have always done, you invest alongside at the level of partnership that we see across the board, y'all are some of the biggest investors in the broker community, in the channel, and the technology that you're creating, the education, the training, all of those things to ensure that there are options, there are other places for people to go, there is a competitive environment. How do we maintain that? How do we make sure, we can say all day long, yes, you need to put the consumer at the center of your every decision that you make, but how do we make sure that that's continuing to happen so that as the channel grows, we're not just growing to grow, but we're growing to do good and continuing to push that mission forward?
Yeah, I think that, from a lender community perspective, our job is to make sure that we're extracting as much cost as we can out of the transaction to make sure that we're passing the best possible option for the consumer, right, through the broker. And so our approach is to solve some really, really difficult problems technologically to get to a world where the automation is at its full capacity, the decision making is, is as speedy and as accurate, precise as possible, and the ease of use, right? Which is really kind of the last ladder in the rung, because I think our biggest sales objection is Octane is too hard, right? It's
Yeah.
not really that hard if you spend time with our training group for one or two loans, or even a couple of webinars, you're fine. But it's because we're attempting to solve some really, really tough problems behind the scenes, and cosmetics are not the most important thing at the moment, right?
Yeah. Well,
So I think, as an industry, and there's, our peer group has just, there are some folks that have just done a wonderful job, right? And continue to deliver world-class service, and have really put a user experience out there that's just unparalleled. But that has to be paired with, an effective overall cost of the transaction, so that we can, make sure that we're able to deliver, the sharp price to the consumer, especially, if we go into a rising interest rate environment. So I think that's important, and we're just one of, many who are just doing a world-class job of building out technology platforms. The way, the mortgage process in general, right? It is going to get to a point where that matrix of what we all feel are infinite decisions can actually be programmable, right? And that matrix will get complete. It's kind of like mapping the entire DNA of the body, right? It's a long. It took many years, but it can be done, and that frees us up to put people in roles to deliver better customer experience, and communicate, and still maintain the relationships, which we think still matter. It can't be just a black box, right?
Exactly. I think the differentiator for me that I've seen from our partners that are truly focused on the broker and not just focused on their own margins, it's investing in technology that creates efficiency and ease of use, but not automating the broker out of the transaction, right? That relationship still matters. You still need to be the expert. You still need to be who the consumer goes to, who they trust, who they're willing to listen to. We've seen some other mortgage companies out there, they're investing in technology, but they're doing so in a way that almost completely eliminates the originator in whatever capacity from being necessary in the transaction. And that's not what you guys are doing. That's not what our other partners in the broker channel are doing. They're focused on, and you're focused on, creating opportunities for brokers to serve more people by allowing there to be efficiency and automation through the transaction. So they're not having to manually do things, but their expertise and what they offer to the consumer is more important now maybe than ever before, because of the amount of information that's being thrown at consumers.
There's no question, right? I don't know that we'll ever see a point where you have a perfect understanding through just a online experience, right? You've got to have some form of financial guidance through this process to ensure that people are in the right product and the right, and really meeting their needs, and going through an online questionnaire, as you know, is not always the best way. You're not getting to the root often of what is best for that customer versus what they think is best for themselves. And so that one-on-one exchange is critical.
Absolutely. It's the why, right? The why behind why are they buying? Why are they refinancing? What are their needs? Without knowing those things and having those conversations, you can't serve them the best way possible.
Yeah, if you think about it, if you're just trying to do it yourself, and you're really in a vacuum, right?
Right.
And you're part of somebody else's algorithm.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, we're going to get wrapped up here in just a minute. Before we go, Colin, any other things that you guys want to share? Any big announcements from Cardinal that we can scoop on here? Anything you want the community to know?
No earth-shattering stuff. We're just, we come in every day, we work hard, and I'm so proud of the team that we have, and the improvements that we've made over the last, year. I look back to, 2020 was such a difficult year for everybody. just to provide that experience that we all strive to do. And now we've had some bandwidth to be able to solve some real problems, and yeah, I'm just very, very proud of the experiences that we're able to deliver right now. I'm hoping you'll forgive me. I wanted to just put a plug out there for one of our community members that needs some help. Aaron Tootie out of Handshake Home Loans. There's a GoFundMe page for support Aaron's fight against lymphoma.
Yep.
And they've been a really outstanding broker partner for us and many, many others. And I wasn't asked to plug it. I just it was on my heart to say something about it because they've got a goal, and there's tremendous amount of expense involved in fighting those battles. And so I appreciate you allowing me to share that.
Absolutely. We'll drop the link here and make sure that's really easy for people to have access to. At the end of the day, that's what this community is about, right? It's brokers, it's partners supporting one another in whatever way is needed at the time. Sometimes it's in exchange of business information, sometimes it's access to resources, sometimes it's advice, it's guidance, it's mentorship, and other times it's supporting people in their personal lives and what they need. We see it all the time. We've had members supporting one another in all different kinds of ways. We had Jason Turner recently who went through some pretty challenging stuff that our entire community showed up to support. So happy to drop all of that, make sure that the GoFundMe link is here. I'll make sure that we get it directly from you so that we can put it in the comments. And I can't wait to be in Las Vegas to foster these relationships, right? And to get out there, to see people, to be able to engage face to face and just continue building the community that we're both so proud of and proud to be a part of.
Yeah, I value, all the authentic relationships I've been able to foster. And so, we'll hug the people that want, that aren't, don't mind a hug, and we'll handshake the people
exactly.
that want a handshake.
Handshakes, hugs, whatever you got to do. Awesome. Well, we will, I'll see you in person very soon. For anybody, if you have not gotten a Fuse ticket yet, make sure to get it. It is jam-packed with not only amazing speakers, it's more content than we've ever had at any AIME event ever. And we're going to have more people than we've ever had. We're going to be almost twice the size of our largest event that we've ever had in the past, so that we can have more of these conversations, be there face to face. Colin, I'm so excited to see you. And thank you to Cardinal for all of your support of AIME over the last.
My pleasure. Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you in Vegas.